use this explainer today to clear the air.
Yes.
You have seen this not just at rallies, but online as well. Edwin Sifuna, you are being called a Gachagua mole. Are you Gachagua'S mole or not?
I'm too big to be anyone's mole. People should be Sifuna's moles. What does Gachagua'S mole mean, by the way, in your understanding?
You know the history of moles.
I don't know. What does being
Gachagua'S
country's
mole? Politics.
And what is the genesis of that? You know, this thing about moles in ODM, it's old. It's an old story, going back to even when the party was formed. And for as long as you don't agree with a certain position, you are branded a mole, you know. And it is quite interesting. I had these conversations ramp up after I ran into Gachagua at a funeral. And it was a funeral for a parent to a member of parliament from Nairobi. Here in Nairobi, we have always stood with each other. Even I have lost people in my family. All these members of parliament in Nairobi came to bury Uncle Lawrence. We have gone to bury Mawade's, I think it was his mom, when she passed. We went to Gachagua'S parents' burial as well, in Nyeri. And in fact, that burial for Gachagua'S, I don't remember who it was, the father. It was the first time I met the deputy president, and he was the deputy president then. And I said what I said. So, if there is a guest list for funerals, let them tell us. But you are not going to stop me from attending a burial of a colleague when a colleague has been bereaved just because Gachagua is going to be there. I will go to that burial, you know. So for me, really, I expect this because, as I've told you, we have won every argument in the party. The argument they are saying is coming is a physical war. You understand? So they have to look for excuses, and you know what they say, give a dog a bad name and hang it. You know, it's politics. This is kawaida. But I am used to it and prepared. In fact, that central committee that happened after our last explainer, Raila said something to me very profound. He said, Sifuna, even you must learn to have a thick skin. Because all these people are going to say all these things about you. And he, even after gave his own life story, he told me, do you realize that the name Raila, like he was one of the most insulted politicians. They said all sorts of things about it. I mean, it was incessant. It was daily. Out of the 7 newspapers we sell in the country in a week, Monday to Monday, 4 of them had Raila on the headline. Some of them saying true things, some of them saying things that were not true. So he said, you must accept that in your position, and he told me specifically, that in your position as SG, first you must accept that you will be criticized. You will be called names. They will spread rumors about you. They will say things about you that are not true. But you must remain focused. And the focus, the North Star for us, is those values that we have spoken about here.
Okay.
Yeah. And by the way, I need to say this. The Raila Odinga that I knew, would never wish the worst. Would never wish the worst even on his own worst enemy. Raila Odinga in power, or in cooperation with the party in power, would not allow the tear gassing of the devil in church. That's what I'm telling you. So when you see people saying, oh, you can tear gas this one because he's a bad person. He used to do the same to us. You can call out regarding this hypocrisy when he was in power. But that doesn't make it right that now, because he's outside of power, it is okay for him to be tear gas in church. So this one, under Article 37 and compensation, don't even begin about compensation. Don't even get me started about compensation. Nothing has been done. It has not been done. Article 37 has been repeatedly violated even after we signed this document.
Your fate has been a discussion since then, even after the passing of Raila Odinga. So today, Edwin Sifuna, are you in ODM? Are you out of ODM? Are you on your way out of ODM? Which is it? I am in ODM, and nobody can kick me out of ODM. I have no intention of leaving ODM. I've said this publicly 1,000 times. You don't have to be an official of the party to be a member of the party. If we get to a point where, and in fact, you've heard us publicly calling for a national delegates convention, at which, because this constitution is, the reason why I bring these documents here is so that we can explain to your viewers what the true position of the party is. This constitution requires a national delegates convention
whenever, in the circumstances unfortunate as the one that we found ourselves in, whenever a party leader dies, it is not an option, you know. And because some of them don't know the history of the party, some people who joined the party 2 weeks ago now claim to speak louder than even members of ODM that started the party itself. I want to illustrate something to you. We are given 6 ballots, right? In 2017, even in 2022, you have people who belong to ODM who will vote for Raila Odinga for president, come and vote against the ODM candidate in 2017 who was Kidero. Huh? They voted Kidero out. Members of ODM, they were giving Raila the votes, denying Kidero, voting for Sifuna, voting for Pasaris. You understand? When you are given that ballot, nobody is there to coerce you to make a decision. And for me, you know, I hear them saying, oh, they are tired of being in opposition. The surest way for ODM to end up in opposition is to get entangled with William Ruto, because
with respect,
William Ruto is going home.
Edwin,
He's going home.
I'm not asking.
You have asked me where it will leave me.
I'm not asking about how you will vote. That is your decision, and that is a private matter. I'm asking about where this leaves you in the membership of a party whose big decision prior to an election goes against your values.
This is what I'm saying. I will exercise that value by voting against him.
Okay.
Yes.
And still remain a member of the party?
Of course.
Okay.
You are allowed to do.
All right. So what options are you exploring then in that presidential bid? Should ODM, in your view, field a candidate?
Absolutely. And, you know, even the last time when we were here, I explained to you why I felt strongly that ODM should field a candidate. We have the opportunity of a lifetime here, in my view. Because of how the vote split in 2022, our candidate lost by a margin of 200,000 votes. In my estimation, if we just kept the constituencies that voted for Raila Odinga, we didn't need to do anything else, because the person who has lost the biggest chunk of his support is William Ruto. We would actually win. I've heard people saying, oh, Baba never nurtured anyone to be president. And it is the biggest insult I've heard against Raila Odinga, because he was not nurturing us in poultry farming. He was not making people who will come to be avocado or horticulture farmers. The Raila Odinga School of Leadership is about leadership. It is in the name. It is in the name. If you feel that you have not been sufficiently prepared for leadership, just step aside. To a jam.
So
that's what we are saying.
You believe there are people within the party who are capable of...
You know, people forget.
Okay, let me ask you
people
this.
Forget.
Let me ask you this.
Let me explain.
Does that... No.
Now I'm on the explainer. You're not allowing me to explain.
You have had every opportunity to speak.
Let me explain this point, because I will lose it.
We will get to it in a moment. Do some of those people who could run for president include you?
Let me explain. Last time, when we were approaching the election, do you know, Yvonne, some of them have had people saying here that the party leader is the automatic presidential candidate. That is not what the constitution of ODM says. The constitution of ODM says the party leader shall be the person who was the presidential election in the previous election. Do you see the distinction? That means the party leader is not the automatic presidential candidate, and that is why in 2022, with Raila alive, the National Elections Board of ODM put out an advertisement for people interested in being presidential candidates. We had 2 people who applied who were not party leaders. They were Raila's deputies. Joe put in an application, Oparanya put in an application, because that is what the rules of ODM says. So even if you were to go by 2022, are you telling me that Joe and Oparanya have somehow lost ambition or capacity to be presidential candidates? Just going by that. And which is why we are saying, if you are unable to, if you feel that you are not ready for this particular contest, you are not prepared well by Baba, or you are one of those who Winnie was talking about, you slept in the class, please give way. Give way, because as a party that has always fielded a presidential candidate, we have a responsibility to provide an alternative to William Ruto.
Okay, could that alternative be you?
Mimi, if they announce today that we put in our applications, if everybody else fears, I'll put in an application. There is nothing wrong with that. And let the members of ODM decide whether Sifuna can run for president or not. There's no problem. And by the way, I really wish we get into this conversation of values, because this is the reason why I brought this document. Some of the resistance you see from some of us in some of those conversations that are going on is because we have been taught by Raila himself that we have conversations about coalitions with parties that bear similar values to us. would Raila tear gas a church? That's a question you ask yourself before you sit down with someone who tear gases churches regularly. Would Raila countenance a situation where we are killing our young people in the police cells? Those are not the values of ODM. Would Raila countenance a situation where you are sitting down with partners who do not believe in democracy? They are dismantling democracy every single day. The people who don't believe in individual freedoms and social justice. Would those be partners he would sit down with Yvonne? So when we raise these issues, and I brought even the there was a statement of the ODM Central Committee that was made in Kilifi, and I listened to people. You see, when the team
calling it the Kilifi Declaration.
Yes, when the team went to Kilifi, this is the resolution that was read in Kilifi. You see, and they say the committee expressed the intention to initiate structured negotiations with different political formations. Then people come to the public here and they say, we will talk only to UDA. In fact, the posturing we see in public is as if a deal has already been concluded. Our expectation was, when you are saying you're going to talk to different political formations, you will go to all these political formations and come back to the membership of the party and say, guys, we went to have a conversation with all these potential partners. This is what X is offering us. This is what Y is offering us. But look at the posturing that we see from some of the leadership in the party. It is as if the UDA marriage has already been settled upon, you know. But if Sifuna were to say that I do not want to converse with party Y, the way I've seen them saying, even here on Citizen TV, they would immediately say Sifuna is going against the resolutions of the Central Committee.